jungle. Rogut jungle.
Hey guys, I'm Rogut, and this is my ranting news story. We believe in the diversity of thought here on this channel. Alright, let's get into it. This is episode 3 of the financial/business news. So, let's get into it. And yes, I've had my energy drink already. Alright, so first story that I want to talk about. The big home improvement giants, Lowe's and the Home Dippity-Doo. Home Depot, if you, okay. So both Lowe's and Home Depot, they beat analyst expectations of their valuations. Lowe's, they rose by 0.15%, and then Home Depot rose by 0.04%. Very small gains, but I'll get into the nitty-gritty in just a second. So Lowe's quarterly revenue, it grew by 10.9% from a year ago. To $19.68 billion in revenue versus $18.32 billion, last year around this time. And then Home Depot, their quarterly revenue rose 7.1% from a year ago to $28.26 billion versus the $27.54 billion that the analysts expected. So that's interesting. So speaking from, what I've seen around my area, I believe that because a lot of my neighbors have been doing yard work. They got to get their tools and their, mulch and materials, fertilizer and stuff like that. A lot of people are still doing yard work because it's something that people can still do. So, that they're doing from home. So I think that's great. So Lowe's hit $1.77 earnings per share compared to what they predicted would be $1.32. And then on the other hand, Home Depot, they missed expectations with $2.08 per share, but it was predicted at $2.27. So make that as of what you will. And then Home Depot, I always love when retailers do things for their employees, and Home Depot did this at the expense of their business, which I commend them for it. But obviously it doesn't, it makes sense from, a compassionate standpoint. So they claimed they gave their employees wage increases, bonuses, and extra benefits during this time. And they were down an extra $640 million, after taxes because of this. But they did this they just did it to help their employees, which I think is a great little part of that story. All right. Let's see. Going on to the next story. One of my favorite stores to shop at, the better version of Walmart, as I call it, Target. So the retail giant, they're down about 3.3% earnings versus their stock price, and that's related to their quarterly earnings report that they came out with yesterday, and they missed the mark due to the COVID crisis. Now, they did see a 141% increase on their online sales, but they missed out on huge profits from their increased expenses, and the store chain itself lost $500 million in the first 3 months of 2020, and it withdrew its financial outlook for the rest of the year. So understandably, I still like to shop there. It was my best friend in college, and it still is to this day. An interesting thing, Coca-Cola, they saw a 3% increase in their share price, and their CEO, his name is James Quincy. He got really serious when he was asked about the U.S. and the current economic recovery. He expects the recovery to be more of a U-shaped, not a V-shaped. I'm trending toward a U or a W myself. He thinks the lockdowns are just starting to begin. And this comes after what I mentioned in the last financial news video, that the Congressional Budget Office estimated that the GDP would fall by 38% in the second quarter, which I kind of agree with, but we'll keep getting into the news here, the interesting stories that I found interesting. Interesting, haha. All right, so I'm sure you guys know who MC Hammer is. I do. He made a new audio-only social media app called Clubhouse. It's still in beta, and it's valued at $100 million. And it doesn't have a public website yet, but there's a lot of beta users who describe their experience. It's kind of like Twitter, but in podcast form. It's a unique concept, and I'm going to have to check that app out myself, because it sounds interesting to me. Right now it has 1,500 users, so it's maybe something interesting to look out for. Clubhouse, you can try it out. And then I will end the financial news video today with a few rapid-fire stories. So virtually Facebook is pushing into the online shopping world, Facebook Shops, and it's encouraging small businesses to sell there. So, you know, I strongly dislike Facebook, pun not intended, but when they do something good for small businesses like that, I'll give them a few claps. They did something good. So another interesting thing that YouTube is implementing is they added a bedtime reminder so you can help stop your binge watching before bed and get out of the rabbit hole of videos that we all tend to fall into sometimes. And then our good old friends in the Great White North, the U.S.-Canada border will remain closed for non-essential travel until June 21st. So that border is still going to be closed well into mid-June. And yeah, so that's all of the news stories that I felt like talking about that I found interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, if you liked the video, I want you to hit the like button. And if you enjoy content like this and you want to see more, you can subscribe and hit that bell so you might be notified. But, you know, if you didn't like the video, you know, if you didn't like my face, if you didn't like the topics, I encourage you to smash that dislike button. It gives me a chance to improve, make better content, make more content, and then just be better overall with what I'm doing. Alright guys, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.